Welcome back to our studio today, and I'm so excited to continue our study on dots. And one of the things we're going to do today is combine our first project where we talked about collaging with our current project talking about dots. So of course we're going to collage dots. So you're going to make your own dots today using any materials that you have at home. I've got these handy dandy paints that my daughter and I like to use all the time, and I'm going to make my own dots using all of the materials or any materials that I have at home. So you could make dots using your markers or colored pencils or crayons or watercolors or paints or anything you have at home. And this time I'm going to use my acrylic paints because I really like the way that they look, and I'm going to make lots of dots on my paper. And then after they're dry, I'm going to cut them out, and then we can talk about how to collage them. So here we go. Wow, look at these dots that I made. Notice how I have some really big dots that I made of each color, and that I have some medium dots that I made. And I also have some small dots that I made. So I have a variety of sizes of dots. Now all I have to do is wait for them to dry. Once they're dry, we're gonna cut them out. All right, so now my dots are dry and I'm ready to use my scissors to cut them out. So now I'm done cutting out my pieces, and I'm ready to use them to create my own piece of abstract art. What the heck is abstract art? Abstract art is art that is made out of lines and shapes and colors. So I've got a lot of shapes here, and all my shapes are circles because we're doing dots this week. And I've got a variety of colors. I don't really have a lot of lines, but I'm gonna make artwork that is revolving around shapes and colors. So my artwork will be abstract because it's just about how beautiful shapes and colors look together. So I'm going to be playing around with all of my pieces here, and I'm going to decide what I think personally looks beautiful in ways that I can arrange these dots. So no two people are going to do this the same way, and that's kind of the fun thing about art, is that we can all do our artwork in different ways and all be right at the same time. So I'm going to use a blank piece of paper, and if you have colored paper, I've got some colored paper at my house, that might be fun to add another color to your artwork. If you want to glue down onto a colored paper, you can. And before I use my glue stick and glue down these pieces, I'm really going to play around with all the different ways that I can assemble these on here. Now I like that I had small, medium, and large, so I could make some designs like this where I can combine pieces. Let's see, I've got some medium pieces here I can include before I put that small one. So I can play around with all the different ways that I can design my artwork here. So here's my abstract artwork with my pieces. Let's see, ooh, those are almost the same size. If I want, I can use my scissors to cut them and fix them in ways that I want. And maybe these guys are just floating around lost. There we go. So that's one way that I could organize my artwork. I might think, maybe it looks cooler if I overlap some of these pieces. Maybe I like that better. So we're gonna play around with the different ways that we can arrange our dots. If you like, you can take a picture of each arrangement so that you have multiple versions of what you created. So now I'm gonna take all these pieces off, and I'm gonna play around with it another way and see all the different ways that I might enjoy looking at them that I think look beautiful to my eyes. So give it a try. So you might have noticed in my video that I tried making multiple different arrangements or designs with my dots. So remember that we're making abstract artwork, that our artwork really isn't a picture of something other than colors and shapes. So I did something kind of silly with my shapes. I decided that I wanted to cut them in half and see what that would look like to make more variety of shapes on my picture. So I have all of these different shapes here, and what I noticed is that I really liked mine to be spaced out a little bit equally on all of my page here. So I have what's called balance. I have not one area that has more than another, so it's kind of balanced out equally. I did try and space out my colors so there's not too much of one color in one area, and that's another way that we can create balance, by having color balance. Another thing that you are going to notice that is already in your artwork is something called repetition. And repetition is when we repeat something. So I have the same shapes repeated over and over and over again. Now some of my shapes are small, some of them are medium, and some of them are large, but I do have the same shape repeated. So a lot of times in abstract artwork, instead of focusing on drawing something that looks realistic, like drawing a portrait of your dog realistically, or a picture of your house, with abstract artwork, we're looking at how do we make something look beautiful just the way that it is. So I thought about balancing out my colors and how crowded each area looks, and I thought about making sure that I have lots of repetition in my artwork. So I hope you guys have fun today. When you are done and you feel like you like your design, I think I feel pretty satisfied with mine. I'm going to go one piece at a time, and I'm going to start gluing them down. So I hope you guys have fun, and I hope you post images of your artwork on our class gallery so that we can all share with each other the beautiful things that we make.